Greetings viewers and welcome to the first Crap Car collection of 2024. I'm here in rural County Kildare and I'm on my way to see my new car. Really excited, as I always am with these. Not going to lie to you, it's not the rarest, not the most special, not the most intriguing of old cars. It's from the early 2000s and what I hope to be a lovely, reliable and comfortable family saloon. So I am not too far away now, only a couple of minutes walk. I've drove to the train station, got the train, and then I've been on a 40-odd, 45-minute walk. So I'm a little bit knackered, to be honest. Yeah, the reason for it is the Astra's given me a bit of trouble, so it's time to move her on. And I just saw this on the classifieds online and thought, yeah, that looks like a decent price, I'll have a bit of that. So I shall update as soon as I get the keys. Wish me luck. Oh, I can see it, it's in that back garden. Getting excited now. Oh, I've bought the car and it's here in front of me. You want to see it, don't you? Here it is. It's a Skoda Octavia, look at that. I told you it wasn't the most exciting, rare or unique car ever made, but you know what, they've really started to grow on me over the last couple of years. I apologise for any of the wind noise, it's quite a blustery day here in Ireland, but look at that, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, we got some parking blemishes there. It was elderly owned, one owner from new, astonishingly. Very, very hard to find cars like that nowadays. We've got a faded Skoda front badge, they all do that, sir. It's the Ambient model. Some damage on the wing mirror, but we really don't care about that, do we? I tell you what, I love picking up old bangers like this. I really, really do. Ah, it's what I live for. It's fantastic. Right, let's get inside. Let's have a little look in here. And everything looks absolutely fine in here, doesn't it? Seat needs a little bit of a clean, but that's very easily done. So I know you're probably sitting there thinking, goodness me, that looks like a low mileage car. What have you got on it? I don't know, 70, 80, 90, maybe 100,000 miles. It's 22 years old. No, you'd be massively wrong on that. It's got a quite astonishing 205,500 miles on it. And having a little look around here, you wouldn't think so, would you? Think it might need a service, but I'll sort that myself. All of these electrics work. Look at that. We've got electric windows all round as well. How brilliant is that? It's a relatively high specs. We've got plastic trims and no air conditioning, but you know what? I really don't care about that. We've got the original Blaupunkt stereo, which can be removed. The head, you know, if you live in a less than salubrious area and you don't want your radio nicked. Oh, playing some tunes as well. We don't want any copyright claims, so I'll knock that off. We've got a nice glove box here with plenty of space in it. We've got little door bins. We've got a little fancy little nifty cup holder down here. Look, it takes a little bit of... There we go, look at that. Coin storage, little tray there, and some more storage that's holding a bottle of juice. 5-speed manual. We've got airbags here. We've got an airbag in the on the passenger side. We've got heated mirrors. Look at this. Do they work, actually? I don't know if the heat will work on them, but do they actually move around? Oh, so there we go. They do! Look at that! Does that one work? Hang on a second. Let's try it. Look at... Oh, that is incredible. I mean, I really shouldn't be getting that excited about electric mirrors that still work, but here I am. That is magnificent. Zoom out there, wasn't the best transition, that was it. Let's have a look in the back. And you know what? It's like this seat have never even been sat in. It's lovely in here. The seats, I believe, fold back in a 60-40 sort of 70-30 fashion there. We've got an absolutely cavernous boot that I'll show you properly in a moment. Pop that back. Let's get in and have a little look. Oh dear. It's quite nice in here. We got obviously electric windows. I haven't got the ignition on there, so I'll have to do that later. Trust that they work. Don't really care if it doesn't. Lovely door bins or seat bins. Door pockets for your storage. Everything in here is really, really lovely. Plenty of headroom there, just about. Yeah, that's not too bad. Just about enough legroom for somebody of my height. That seat probably has to go back a little bit more actually, because it's not the most comfortable the way I've got it at the minute, but that's just to get me home. Why is that door not opening? Oh, I've got shower lock on. Got shower lock, so I'm actually stuck now in the back. Let's try and get out the other side. Hang on a second. Oh. There we go, got a bit of freedom. We did anyway, just testing those windows. And we're out again. Right, let's have a look at the boot. Oh, and listen to that as well. Sounds great, that, doesn't it? Right, it's time for the boot. We've got a tow bar because, of course, the car is from the countryside. Look at that boot. Seagulls doing the best to ruin the video. But that boot is massive, isn't it? Absolutely huge. Speakers there too, a little light. A little storage area down here. That little metal thing needs to be reinserted, but that's not a huge issue. Let's have a look at what we've got under here, and it's a full-size spare. I think that's a bit of netting there, isn't it, for more lashing if you need to store stuff. It's an Avon tyre. All is good. Haven't checked under the boot floor, but there's never been any rust issues with this, I don't believe. So let's drop it down. From Michael Shaw in Longford. So I have to say, I'm absolutely chuffed. Starts up first turn of the key, which is fantastic. So let's see what she's like on the road. It's a rather nice indicator noise as well, and what I do like about it is it's quite loud. I've driven many cars, and in fact the Astra that I've got at the minute, indicator noise, you just can't hear it. So, you know, sometimes you might indicate to turn and then change your mind, and you're going half a mile down the road with the indicator still flashing away, and you've got no idea because you can't hear it. The brakes aren't fantastic, I have noticed, and there's... You can hear that squeal. I'll do it again. Yeah, there is quite a squeal out of them, so I'd imagine the pads are probably going to need doing at some stage, and when I say some stage, I mean pretty soon. So we're just approaching then the M4 motorway. We're going to head back to Dublin from this this area here, Leixlip, sort of Selbridge area. So let's see how she performs then at speed. It's not bad, not bad. We're doing 70 miles an hour now, 120 kilometres pretty much. And you know what? Apart from a little bit of wind noise at the front, it drives rather well on the motorway. You kind of feel like you can sit here and do 70 miles an hour all day long. It's only 1.4 petrol up top, but I have to say, yeah, it's actually all right. It's pretty good. It's better than all right. It's quite nice, really. One thing I am noticing here, there's no wheel wobble, but the steering wheel is that way. So it's kind of pointing, it's a few degrees out, so the tracking's probably going to need doing. You know, you might have an elderly owner who has a tendency to collide with stationary objects like curbs and things like that every now and again, so not a big issue at all. These things happen. Time will catch us all up. The visibility in the car is pretty good. Got slightly chunky A-pillars here, which you know, are a little bit of an issue when you're trying to pull out of corners, but it's something you'd soon get used to. Big, huge windscreen, which is a huge plus. But rear visibility isn't fantastic. That rear windscreen is really, really far away and not all that big. Because when you look at it from the outside, it looks like a big, huge opening. When you're sat in here, though, it doesn't look all that big. The roof line comes quite far down. There's no rear wash wipe on this particular model as well, so it's likely to get rather dirty as it is now. Oh, the joys. We hit almost rush hour traffic on Dublin's Ring Road, the M50. How much fun is this going to be? Not a lot, I'd guess. I was chatting to the bloke that was selling it, who was doing it on his mother-in-law's behalf, and he was an absolute gentleman. So he was telling me that it was a one-owner car. It was herself that had owned it for the last 22 years since new, and it never needed for anything but serviced on the button, which is fantastic. He did say that the timing belt had been done at some stage, and it has had a change in the 22 years, thank God. But we're not sure, and he wasn't sure when that change actually was. I kind of got the feeling that it was relatively recently. You know, he remembered it and all that, so hoping that was relatively recently. The car didn't cost me that much, so I'm not really that bothered if it was to go, to be honest. They're not ridiculously rare or valuable cars, Skoda Octavias. So I mean, if it goes, it'll cost me pretty much what I paid for it to get it done, and there wouldn't be much value in that, I don't think. So yeah, maybe it's time for a bit of timing belt roulette, but fingers crossed everything will be okay. I have had a look through the service book, which is sitting in this manual here. Skoda Auto, look at that. And there are 4 or 5 services in it, marked services in the book. But there's a big gap from about 2006, I think, up until 2022. I do genuinely believe that it was serviced. It's in such good condition. You know, you wouldn't be able to get away with not servicing and not looking after a car for this length of time. So, yeah, no, I do believe it's been looked after. But you know what it's like if you've got somebody, you know, who's a mechanic or a backstreet mechanic. You just throw it into them and then they do it, and sometimes the service book doesn't get stamped. That's just life. Most of the old cars I've owned have been like that. So I'm not going to lose too much sleep over that at all, really. I will, though, give it a service myself over the next couple of weeks, just so at least I've got peace of mind that the oil's been changed, spark plugs, filters, etc, etc. And I tell you what, it's nice to be in a car that accelerates properly. The Astra was doing that perfectly well up until around Christmas time, when it developed that issue with the EGR valve. I think that's what the issue is anyway, but it's never really run smoothly since. So, you know, now on motorways and long journeys, it's alright really, but when you're in lower gears and trying to get up hills, it's glacially slow, and you're chugging along like that all the time. So it's nice to just have a car that you can just put the foot down in and overtake other cars with. So how much did I actually pay for this slice of Czech brilliance? 450 quid. Yep. In an era where used car prices have gone through the roof, I only handed over 450 quid for this car, and it's fully 100% road legal. It's got a NCT, valid NCT until next month, towards the end of March, and it's taxed for another 2 days. These seats seem pretty comfortable. It seems a little bit firm, but I don't think I've got it set quite in the right position for me yet. But in another luxurious feature on this car, it's height adjustable. Now I know that's not particularly strange for cars of this era, especially for the driver's seat, but the passenger seat is also height adjustable, which is pretty good. It's got obviously you can tilt it forward, but it's also got like a lumbar support here. I feel that's quite nice actually. So we have to play around with that over the next couple of days to try and find the optimum seating position, because I also feel I'm a little bit too close to the steering wheel. But initial impressions are, they fit quite like the Astras, which are relatively comfortable. I've never had any issues on long journeys, but definitely not French seats. They're not the same seats that I've had in either the Clios I've owned or the 306 that I've got, because they are supremely comfortable. So after a long journey, we are almost home, and this long stretch of road here gives me the chance to test out the Octavia's handling characteristics. Got a couple of bends coming up now that I'm going to attempt to drive in a spirited fashion, and let's see how this thing copes with them. Oh, there's a lorry coming here, so that's going to ruin it a little bit, I think. Yeah, just a bit. Feels alright actually when you start throwing it into corners. Yeah, that actually grips rather well going through there. Caught a little bit of an uneven surface on the inside of the corner there, which threw it just a little tiny bit, but you know what, it's stuck really rather well there. Gonna have to be careful because, of course, my brakes aren't fantastic. They do make quite a lot of noise. So, gonna have to be careful of that, but yeah, that was nice, that. I'm not naturally a very spirited, very quick driver. Don't really do that very often. a nice serene pace is quick enough for me. Hence why I bought myself a 22-year-old 1.4 petrol family saloon. Yeah, not going to be engaging in a lot of throwing into corners really. But if I need to, I know it can do it. I am moments away from home, and thankfully the collection journey has gone without a hitch. And I have to say, initial impressions are really, really good. I like it, I do. It's, look, it's nothing spectacular, I know it's not. It's not particularly rare, not particularly valuable, not particularly sought after. But this has the potential to be a really solid, dependable car. It's evidently been very, very well looked after by its previous owners. I haven't paid too much money for it, only 450 quid. And so this could be an absolute bargain. It feels like that so far, but I can't judge it until I give it a couple of months at the very least. But yeah, no, things are good. I mean, look at the toys that I've got. Electric windows all round. I've got electrically heated mirrors. That's it. But you know, it's all right, isn't it? And something that I've just realised is I've left the Astra at the train station. Swapped my insurance to this. So how am I going to get that back? Oh, I don't know, honestly. Yeah, never simple owning old cars, is it? But anyway, the Octavia has gotten me home. And yeah, no, it's good, I like it.